I'm wrapping up my stay here at Disney's Caribbean Beach, and so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about transportation. Transportation here at Disney's Caribbean Beach gets a little bit interesting compared to some of the other places we've stayed in the past. You do have a lot of different options when it comes to transportation here, but of course you have many of the same options that we've talked about before, and many of the options that you may already be familiar with. So first and foremost, let's start with the option that is the most popular here at this resort. That is the Skyliner. The Disney Skyliner is something we've talked about before. It's a gondola system. It is elevated. It is continuously moving for the most part, and it allows you to easily access Hollywood Studios as well as Epcot. It'll also take you to other Walt Disney World Resort hotels, including Disney's Pop Century and Art of Animation. It'll also take you to that Epcot station, which is right next to Beach Club, Yacht Club, Swan, Dolphin, and Swan Reserve, although those are not Disney owned and operated. They're still worth visiting though. And there's also the boardwalk out there, which has a ton of dining and entertainment options. Of course, the Skyliner is also very convenient because it is easily accessible with a wheelchair and ACV. Also, you can put your stroller right on there. It's a really great mode of transportation, although it's not right for everybody. Of course, we've talked about this in a previous video, so I will link that in the description down below. Next up, we have bus transportation. Now, here at Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort, bus transportation is a little bit different than some of the resorts that we've seen in the past on the channel. Because this resort is so massive, it does have multiple bus stops where you can catch a bus to any of the locations not accessible via the Disney Skyliner. So Magic Kingdom, also Animal Kingdom. Now this is another thing to be aware of, especially if you're thinking about staying at this resort but the Skyliner isn't for you. You're not going to be able to access Hollywood Studios or Epcot from a bus unless the Skyliner is down, which sometimes it does go down, or if there's inclement weather that has the Skyliner temporarily stop running. In that case, buses will take you to Hollywood Studios and Epcot. But again, I wouldn't rely on the bus to get to either of those places because it is really special circumstances that would have a bus running. It's not a normal everyday occurrence. Now, because Disney's Caribbean Beach is such a big resort, there's also an internal bus that does run throughout the resort. Now, I don't know what the schedule is for that internal bus, and I'm not in a location that allows me to keep an eye out for the buses from where I'm staying right now, so I can't tell you when you can expect to see one of those buses come around, but that's something that you can ask the front desk about, and I do recommend that you do that. Did I mention that there are technically 2 Skyliner stations here at Disney's Caribbean Beach? Now, this is another great way to get around the resort without having to walk, because you do have the Caribbean Beach Skyliner station, which is located in one area, and then you have the Riviera station, which is located right at the end of Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort and easily accessible if you're staying in an area of the resort that borders Disney's Riviera. Jumping on the Skyliner over here can get you back and forth between the Riviera station as well as the Caribbean Beach station, which makes it a little bit easier to get around the resort as well. So that's another great perk of being here. If you want to get where you're going and you don't want to have to wait for a bus, you can definitely do that just with the Skyliner. Now, there are of course other transportation options available to you, but none of them are going to be free. Of course, you can take a ride share from Caribbean Beach. That's going to come with an additional cost. If you're looking to take a ride share but you're not necessarily comfortable getting into a stranger's car, you can choose to take what's known as a minivan. This is run through Lyft. It is a ride share. You can book it through the Lyft app, but unlike standard ride shares, these are driven by Disney cast members. They're also special vehicles that do have a few additional amenities, so you can feel a little bit more comfortable if you're wanting to take a ride share. You want to get where you're going, but you don't want to use just a regular ride share because you don't know what to expect. That said, it's important to understand that these do come at an additional cost, so they aren't free and they're a little bit more expensive, but you're also getting more amenities and more car. So I personally think that it works out, but of course, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And finally, you have the ability to drive your own vehicle or a rental car here to Caribbean Beach. And there are parking lots around the resort. You can park in the vicinity of your room. Of course, it's not right outside your room. It will be a short walk, but it's still relatively close. So that is nice. Your car is going to be easily accessible. It's going to be tucked away, so you're not going to be able to necessarily see it, but you will be able to access it very easily, especially when you're making your way to the bus, because you do have to walk through the parking lot in order to get to the bus stops at this resort. Finally, we can talk really briefly about walking. Of course, you can't walk to any of the theme parks from this resort. It's not within walking distance, but you can walk to Disney's Riviera Resort, which is very close by. So you do have access to a second resort and a second set of amenities. So restaurants and a second movie on the lot if you don't like the movie that happens to be playing at the Caribbean beach. So that is an additional perk, in my opinion, of staying here. And yes, you can walk there. It's really easy. Also, you can take the Skyliner there depending on where you are, but it is the only place you'll be able to walk to. Everywhere else that you want to go to, you're going to need to get on another mode of transportation. But that about does it for Disney's Caribbean Beach in terms of transportation options. Of course, let me know your favorite transportation option. Tell me why you like it. Tell me the transportation options that you don't really care for. Why don't you like them? Put it all in the comments down below. Of course, we love to hear from you. We love to hear what you have to say. Also, let us know if you've ever stayed here, how you feel about the transportation situation at this resort. Do you like it? Do you think it could be improved? How? Tell us all about it. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button. It lets us know that we're on the right track and we're telling you the stuff you want to know. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We talk about so much here on the channel and you're not going to want to miss it. But until next time, thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you back here.